Hello, listeners. This is Lee Price.
This is Will Ford from Football 365.
And you're listening smartly to At the Bridge Pod, a Chelsea FC podcast, although I would describe it as the Chelsea FC podcast.
Magical from Eden Hazard. Kai Havertz in the Champions League final. Ivanovic! Yes. In the middle, it's just behind him. But it's tapped in by Hakim Ziyech. Matic with the ball driver. Matic takes the net off. Hat-trick hero. Cole Palmer wins an epic, sensational game.
It's time for another episode of At the Bridge Pod, your number one Chelsea FC podcast. Coming up on this episode...
Don't call my name, Alejandro. I'm not your babe, Garnacho. Oh, welcome back everyone to another episode of At the Bridge Pod. I'm joined in the virtual room filled with lions, and I've got the cat, Tommy's here. I've got Ollie, I've got Berth, I've got Chris, and of course, moments of the weekend team. Come on, what are they? You've had an extra day as well. You've had a Monday. Come on.
I played football for the first time in the new year on Sunday, which was good. We lost, but it was good to be back on the football pitch. It's little things in life just make you happy, and that's something that does make me happy. So yeah, it's my highlight.
That's awesome. That's all. Chris.
Went to St George's Park on Sunday.
Oh,
That's
you
a
did.
good one. That's a good one.
How was that?
Probably be my highlight of the weekend. Top to highlight of the weekend for the year, I would have thought.
Wow.
Did you really enjoy
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, it was really good. Yeah, met some good coaches. Had listened to a couple of good presentations. St George's Park's really good. To be fair, like going there, it makes you wonder how we can't win anything.
It's a nice
like-
place. I've been there once or twice. It's
Yeah,
a really,
yeah,
like, properly modern, properly really nice setup they have there.
yeah, really well thought out and that as well. But yeah, it was really good.
What?
Nice.
Come on. What about you, Ollie?
Do you know what my highlight of the weekend was me? Because so a lot of people know I don't do a lot on my weekends other than work, and I don't. Like to bore people.
No.
I know. I try not to bore people with things like that, but I had a very productive weekend. I got a lot of stuff done, so I'm my own.
That is a
highlight.
win. For me, it's a feel good story. I mean, it shouldn't have had to come to this, so that's in the first place. That's annoying. And it's the news that Manchester United have reinstated the season ticket of a fan with dementia after.
That wound me up. I'm glad they fixed that. When I
Oh.
read that,
Oh,
it really
yeah.
irritated me.
The family members that were rightly so furious and shared. Obviously, United went, that's not the whole story. It's like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
Just
so
don't, you've screwed up. You know exactly what you did.
for context,
Own it.
listeners, basically, they there's this one there's a family season ticket member for Manchester United who'd been going for like 20 years and
45 years.
45 years, sorry,
45
yeah.
years.
and he wasn't very tech savvy, and he had a paper ticket that you would
Yep.
take. And the QR code wasn't working basically on it. It wouldn't work. And so most of the time they just kind of let him through because they knew him and clearly it was his ticket, right?
Mm-hmm.
And but basically because he didn't scan the ticket or like the code wasn't working, because he missed 5 games, they sold his season ticket to someone else.
Yeah. They
It's
claimed, they said refunded. No, you revoked it. That's what you
And
did.
then I heard on top of that that they threatened the family when they tried to bring this up. They threatened the family with like called in like a safeguarding investigation onto him because he
Wow.
had dementia and stuff. Absolute joke of a club. Total mess.
Is there a club worse at PR than Man United?
Oh, no.
There's definitely
Chris,
not one that's
to be
worse
honest,
run.
To be honest, Chris, you could have just stopped up. Is there a worse club than Man United?
Yeah, that's
So
very true.
true.
At the end of the day, you got to treat your fans with the respect and the love that they deserve. Because at the end of the day, they make football. Because we all remember pandemic football and what that was like behind closed doors. It was soulless, bit like
It was
United's
shit.
owner. So,
Yeah.
we have no Shevva shout-outs today. So, listener, send them in on Spotify, please. Begging you. With that though,
We really need the praise. We need it,
we
guys.
need
Come on.
it. Right, news time. Well, I tell you what, bloody hell. I mean, I have a little list of stuff here. I had I will lead with what I've wrote down, then I'll do the breaking news that's just happened. Well, Chelsea seem to have already secured their first signing of the January window. That's a deal for Mamadou Sarr. He's a young talent. Of course he is, from Strasbourg. That's obviously, you can tell straight away how we agreed to deal with Todd there. He probably looked in the mirror. He's billed as a player for the future. Woo! He's going to be joining the Project 2030, so that's interesting. We're also very, very interested in Alejandro Garnacho. That's something to watch, according to Fabrizio Romano and Matt Law have said. His agent was at Stamford Bridge last night, so João Felix's agent, though, he's shopping his clients around for a January move. Apparently the fee that we're asking to put in teams off. Well, that sounds great. And then today, Romeo Lavia, he's apparently expected to be out for weeks. Bloody, I mean, that alone, that situation with Lavia makes me cry. His highlight reel at Chelsea is just MRI scans and ice packs. It's depressing.
I find it really odd how, like, he was out for ages, and then we brought him back, and we were like, I know it was only against, like, Morecambe and then whoever we played after that, but you were like, right, now you're going to play twice in 3 days. And we thought that was a good idea. Like, you know, like, who signed off on that? Whose choice was that? Because they need to be sacked.
It is depressing though, because he was an expensive player and he doesn't play. And when I brought up the Gallagher situation, people went, "Yeah, he wouldn't get in the team over Lavia." Well, he would, because he'd get in by default because he's fit. Gallagher's always fit.
Wow, this is it. Availability is the best ability.
Yeah, he's always fit, and he puts a shift in.
Thing is, though, I mean, if you're going on pure football ability, then Lavia arguably probably is the better player. Sadly, he plays twice every 6 months, which is just sadly not good enough for him.
I would like to know, actually, has he had more injuries or has he had more games for us?
Oh, easy injuries. It's got to be.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah.
It's the bit I was going to touch on, because I think this is huge news. Chelsea have agreed to terms with San Diego Wave defender Naomi Girma. I mean, it's going to be a world record fee for a female player, over $1 million, and that literally just happened minutes before we hit record.
Oh, that's cool.
Bloody hell! Yeah. I mean, I was really shocked by it. I thought she was heading to Lyon. I'm sure I read something like that, but apparently no.
I don't know anything about her. She must be good if she's garnering a world record fee.
I mean,
where did she play?
You're defender, centre back.
Nice. All right, interesting. Could be our sort of female Van Dijk signing.
Yeah, I mean, wow. I mean, I'm sure it's not official, it's not confirmed or anything. The Athletic are reporting that, you know, it's been agreed though, so you kind of trust them.
It's going to happen. Like, they're not exactly going to struggle with personal terms. Hey, you can play for the best women's team.
Best team in the world.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure.
No.
Yeah.
Chris, anything on Lavia? I mean, we're probably going to do something like topics and stuff on Friday, because you know you guys have actually brought up a really good idea with that. So I'll give fair, between the flowers.
Yeah, Lavia, there's just good player, but no point if he never plays. And I think whoever put him in the last chance saloon in the summer said he had to be available for at least 50% of our games this year. He's falling way short of that already. So
I think he might not even. I don't think he's going to make 30%.
Be lucky if he makes 10%. Yeah, it's a shame because when he plays, he's really good.
Yeah,
but there's no point in keeping a player who never plays.
I agree.
Can I ask you something, guys, about the news that's been coming out? How do you feel about Alejandro Garnacho?
I feel really. I'm glad you brought this up, and I
don't call me babe.
I think he is. I think he's massively overrated.
He did score that really good goal that I think is one of the best I've ever seen live.
So did
the Puskas, didn't he?
Yeah.
No, I think he's okay. I think he's a good, solid player. I don't think he comes into the team and gets the numbers that we want from him.
I think he's one for the future.
Because we need one of them, don't we?
We do. We need
another winger. Yeah. We need another winger that we can pay.
If there's one thing if there's one thing that I know about Chelsea, it's we don't have enough players for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I agree with you, Berth. I think he is overrated. Yeah. I don't think he comes in and moves the needle off any of the wingers we've already got. Also, I can't stand him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently, he's got a bit of an attitude thing, and his brother's a bit of a dickhead as well.
Again,
That's
not
that's
something we
unofficial.
need.
Yeah.
The thing is, though,
Can I just like chuck out some devil's advocate sort of side though? Let's just entertain it for a minute. So he's what,
Okay.
20 years old?
Yes.
Got something like 11 goals and assists last season at 20.
Mm.
In the Premier League for that terrible Man United side,
you're right.
You can sort of see some arguments behind it, surely.
Mm.
yeah. Look, I'm not. Like I said, I think he's a good player. I don't get me wrong. I think he's massively overrated. That's all. Just because I say someone's overrated doesn't mean I think he's a bad player. The problem is with Garnacho, and again, I'm just using the eye test here. When have you ever watched Garnacho and thought, "Wow, he's had a great game"? Don't get me wrong; he has flashes of brilliance. Obviously,
when he scored 2 goals against us last season.
But I'm being funny. Josie Altidore scored against us before. It doesn't mean he's a great player.
Oh well,
But, like,
MLS legend.
Yeah, but like the thing is, I don't get the hype, and I think again he's a good player, but I don't ever watch him and go, "Wow, we need him."
I'd also say as well that the only times I've ever watched him and thought he's done well is in a counter-attacking Man United team.
Yeah, we don't do that, do we?
But we don't do that.
You're
so
right.
it's another signing that seems to me to be just based off the fact that yes, he's available, he's young, he might have potential, but does he actually fit the way that we play under the current manager? Probably not. So
but he's definitely getting signed. He's definitely going to get signed then.
So, but as well, the price is a big sticking point for me as well. 60 million is a very hefty cost for a player who, like you say, Chris, I'm not sure he moves the needle for that money. No. You know, there's someone like a Bradley Barcola at PSG is looking for his way out the door. You got a Matthias Tell, you know, at Bayern Munich. All seem to be doing a bit better. You have a bit more pedigree, bigger clubs, better talent, still young.
Yeah.
You know what's funny though?
Worth that kind of money.
You know what's funny though? I saw a tweet earlier and it perfectly summed it up. And I'll just get that tweet up again. Bear with me. It said we're going to spend 60 million on Garnacho to replace the 60 million pound Neto, replace the 60 million pound Mudryk, replace the 60 million pound Pulisic. That pretty much sums it up perfectly.
Yeah, that is great.
Who tweeted that?
You're getting a retweet if I find out.
Oh, right. That's really funny. Shout out to you, sir.
It's time to head to Kingsmeadow Corner as Chelsea took on West Ham United in the WSL.
Chelsea women stormed into the Chigwell Construction Stadium like a tornado ripping through a garden, leaving nothing but shattered dreams and unanswered questions in their wake. The 5-0 demolition of West Ham United wasn't just a win, it was an art installation of footballing supremacy. Would you say dominance? No, this was a hostile takeover. And the first 3 goals, forget goal of the month for January. These were masterpieces worthy of their own gallery exhibit. Each strike was a jaw-dropper, and it's the kind of stuff that makes you wonder if West Ham had just accidentally wandered into a highlight reel filming session. By the time that Chelsea were done, the only thing left at the stadium was the lingering echo of world-class football and West Ham's collective existential crisis.
Oh, West Ham 0.
Wow, well done, Mikey, by the way. That was superb.
Yeah.
5-0 Chelsea. What a performance for me. I mean, there were so many good goals. I can't, first one, that's a good goal. Second one, that's a good goal. Third, that's a good goal. I was like, bloody hell. I was like, this is looking good for me. I love this. I mean, what do we make of it?
I think we're never going to lose again. If I'm honest.
It looks that way, though. Like, honestly, to come back after the break, and yeah, I know we had the FA Cup game, but that was a
not a real game.
It was an introduction back into after a break. Like, this was the first sort of really competitive game after the winter break, and we absolutely blew him away. Ruthless in front of goal. The football we played was really good. Another clean sheet, which at the start of the season, the concern was we wasn't keeping clean sheets, and now we are. But at the moment, I don't see a weakness in this team. And with the news that Sam Kerr could be back by the end of Jan, early Feb, That's only going to make us stronger. And imagine taking this team and then going, oh yeah, by the way, we have got a world-class player to come back yet.
And we're adding to it as well if we get obviously Germa over the line.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I'll do some quick fire winners and losers. Great goals. I mean, the first three all outside the box, and all three will be on the shortlist for Chelsea's goal of the month for January. I mean, they all deserve praise and are outstanding. The away support, I thought you could hear them sing all game long, and it might have been, as I say, it might have been a game on the road, but it kind of felt like a home game at Kingsmeadow. I absolutely was. I was beside myself in positivity about how impressive that was. As I was lost for words, even because I couldn't think of what the word I was trying to think of then. But and the one thing I've been waiting for, gotta do it. I waited, but Aaron Cuthbert, Oh, 90 minutes played, 1 goal, 45 accurate passes, 70 touches, 3 successful dribbles, 2 accurate long balls, 4 tackles, 1, 2 interceptions, 2 clearances, 9 recoveries, and 13 duels, 1. Oh, I'm so glad I'm over the flu so I could get through that in one breath. What a legend. Sign her up for 6 more years. She's got to retire her blue. She's so good.
Flipping partridge in a pear tree as well. My God.
She's so bloody special. And we are very privileged to have her in our team.
Can I put a biscuit bet out there?
Oh,
it's a pretty big biscuit bet, so I'm sticking my neck out. It's got to be a custard cream or a wagon wheel at least.
Oh,
whoa! Sorry, wagon wheels and a biscuit, but carry on.
It's in the biscuit aisle.
Yeah, it's in the biscuit aisle.
No, it's not a biscuit. It's not a biscuit.
Is it a cake? Is it a cake?
Don't talk shit because it's not a biscuit.
It's not a cake.
Yes, it's definitely a cake.
We'll talk about it later. I have a biscuit bet. Right.
Go on.
I think we are going to finish the season invincible.
I would.
Wow.
I will not take you up on that because I think I agree.
I'm jumping ahead. I'm jumping ahead of the game a little bit because I was saying to Chris this week, if we win against Arsenal at the weekend, which he is going to, by the way, if we beat Arsenal, I think we'll go invincible for the rest of the season. I really do. But actually, I think I genuinely think we're gonna at least draw against them, and I can't see anyone stopping us. I really can't.
Brilliant.
Unless focus gets shifted to the Champions League, because I think if we beat Arsenal on Sunday, I think that's the title done.
It's hilarious, isn't it? We're 7 points clear of Arsenal, and when I thought that Arsenal, and that's no games in hand. No, Man City are 22, Man United 24, joint obviously with Arsenal. And when you think how Arsenal started the season as well under Jonas, you're like,
yeah.
Oh, wow, madness.
Sonia Bonpastor, by the way.
Easy, isn't it? Easy WSL.
Oh, wow.
She has made it look easy.
She has. She's taken the league by storm, hasn't she? She's gone, Emma Hayes, that, the world-class coach who had a legacy of winning it every year. She's looking just as impressive in her first season, which is mental.
I fully agree. Right, time to head to winners and losers as we welcomed Wolves to Stamford Bridge. Chelsea leapfrogged Newcastle and Manchester City back into the top 4 after a game that was like a roller coaster with no seatbelts, and yet somehow we came out smiling. Tosin opened the scoring, making him our most prolific on-form goal scorer with 3 now. Then, in true slapstick fashion, Robert Sanchez handed Wolves an equaliser on a silver platter. Matt Doherty barely had to try. And then enter the second half. Mark Cucurella channelled his inner goal machine before Noni Madueke stole a goal from the real man of the match, Trevoh Chalobah. Chelsea's win has them soar back into the top 4. Wolves, meanwhile, cling to 17th, like a cat hanging from a curtain. Saved only by goal difference. Oh, Chelsea 3, Wolves 1. And the winners, we kick off with the winners as always. Who have you got and how many have you got?
I'm 3-3 today.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm 3-3.
3-3, and I struggled with the third winner, and I must admit that's really poor of me, but I did. I was trying to clutch at straws because it was like, I was a bit annoyed at times. But that's not the point.
I picked the only 3 good players, mate.
Oh, I feel better. You know what? Funnily enough, right? I think we all might have done. We all have him as a winner. We know straight away where I'm going. Robert Sanchez. What a performance! No. Oh, stop. Wrong list. Trevoh Chalobah. I mean, Trevoh Chalobah.
He's on mine.
Of course he is.
recalled midweek from the Palace loan, and he steps into the starting lineup, delivers a man of the match performance like he never left. I mean, he's not only our best defender, he's already one of the standout players in the squad. Seriously, because look how good he was. And then I think the look to Sanchez alone was enough to get him on the list.
Yeah.
He was like,
brilliant.
You're still doing that? Really?
When I was last here, you were still doing that.
Why?
I mean, he was brilliant, wasn't he? He was
so
absolutely brilliant. You know, like sweeping up everything, playing in an unusual position for him as well, because he's usually a right-sided defender, playing on the left side. I thought he showed a lot of maturity in his game. He looked like a player who was coming back with a point to prove. You know, seriously with a vengeance. And he's saying, you know, like, I know people are already talking about selling me in the summer. I'm going to play so well that you're not going to be able to do that. And I was.
I mean,
really,
that
really
doesn't matter to our owners.
No, they couldn't give a shit.
Well, it's more.
They should.
More pure profit for them, I guess. But yeah, like to come back, and as well, you got to remember with Chalobah is that he doesn't actually know the system, because remember he was banned from training. You know, when they froze him out before the season began. So it's not like he was learning his trade. And this is what annoys me about, and we'll get it probably to it in losers and stuff when we talk about players who are supposed to know the system. Trev doesn't know the system. And he's come in and he's dropped a man of the match performance with one training session.
Yeah. I mean, he is a highlight reel for me of everything the Cobham Academy gets right and everything our sporting directors get so wrong. I mean, every tackle was perfectly timed. His composure was unmatched. And then he gets an assist, which, to be honest, should have been a goal, but whatever. But the thing is, he shows everything right about a Cobham player. And he just walked straight into the team. Obviously, you know, injuries and everything. But he's walked into this team and impressed from day one. Man of the match. I mean, that is a fairy tale. You couldn't write that. It's that good. Any final thoughts before we move to our next winner?
I mean, I think that's his best ever Chelsea performance, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean,
I think in context as well. I mean, he played it unbelievable, but I think considering, like Mikey, what you just said is, and he doesn't really know the system very well, being exiled, only just come back this week or last week to train. Incredible performance. It was his most mature performance I've seen from him. I think sometimes I watch him and, you know, makes a few mistakes on the ball. He's a bit rash, but every tackle he got right, every pass he got right, he looked quick, he looked sharp, he looked very, very good.
I think.
Yeah.
Sorry, Beth.
No, carry on.
I think he looks like he's come back a better player from Crystal Palace than the one we gave them.
Yeah, I agree.
I think maybe, you know, I know we've been linked with Gehi, but maybe he has learnt from him.
Possibly,
you know, because or the other centre half they've got who was really highly rated at one point. I think he played for Wolfsburg or something. Yeah, him.
LaCroix.
Yeah,
he's class him.
Yeah, so again, I think it's been a really good loan. It reminds me of when we had sent Loftus-Cheek there on loan, and he came back a better player.
Yeah,
from Crystal Palace. I think we should just loan all our players to Crystal Palace.
I was going to say, and when we sent Gallagher to Crystal Palace.
Yeah. But for Chalobah, like, I mean, he started off really confidently. With, like, I think it was after about 3 minutes, he played an outside of the foot pass down the line.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I was like, where did he get that from?
Gosh, like Kevin De Bruyne. But someone else mentioned this. I can't remember who it was. Someone online mentioned that he brought leadership to that back line as well.
Yeah. For the first time in a while.
Because again, you've got to remember, he had seasons under Thiago Silva. So he's probably more mature than his age in a way, because of all the knowledge he would have got training with Silva every day, playing with him. You know what I mean? Like, experience doesn't just come with age, it comes with experiences that you get as well in games.
Yes,
so
good point.
I do think he's going to be a great addition. I do think, though, with Chalobah, he does really highlight how poor our other centre halves have been.
Oh, fully agree.
Because I really like Chalobah, but he's not Van Dijk, is he? You know, let's be fair. Like, you know, he's a good, solid Premier League centre half, but he's never going to get in Team of the Year. But he walks into our team.
That's the problem, though, isn't it? That's the problem. That all our centre backs are exactly the same.
Exactly.
But then
You know what I
they're
mean?
not,
He
though. Some
walks
of them
in.
are worse than that.
Yeah, he
You
walks
say the
into
word
our
team of the
team,
year and they sneeze.
and we all think, oh my God, he's incredible. When actually, it's just down to the fact that the other ones are like bang average.
Yeah. Second player, I'm going to go early because I think we've probably all got him. Reece James.
Yeah,
Yeah.
unreal.
Yeah,
Unreal.
unbelievable performance.
I mean, we all know he got home last night. He emptied his pockets, phone, wallet, keys. Ait Nuri and Cunha. I mean, he bossed it. He bossed it from start to finish. Masterclass. And he was unshakable.
And
He
he didn't
also-
get injured.
I was going to say,
Did-
77 minutes, was it, in the tank? No injury?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know
Good
what?
stuff.
He's one of our most experienced players, and it shows. It does show.
And also, in his last, 3 performances, he's had, a goal and 2 assists, or 2 assists and a goal, or something like that. Like, I know a lot of people have been irritated at what Maresca said about, like, we don't want fullbacks to go up and down and whatnot. And there is merit to that, being irritated by that. But actually, with James, his quality just shows through. It doesn't matter where he plays.
Yeah.
He's a bit like Captain America when he gets thawed out of the ice. He's just ready to go again straight away.
I actually do think, I'm pretty sure we said this ages ago on here, that Reece James might be better as a centre back in a 3, which is essentially what he's playing now. When Cucurella inverts, they become a back 3. He's playing right-sided centre back in a back 3. That's what he's doing. For all intents and purposes. It's more than that, though,
because he is getting into like midfield and stuff as well when Cucurella sits back. So like, there's a lot of tactical utility that James brings you, like in a way that. Don't get me wrong, I really like Gusto, but it's clear that he's really struggled to adapt into the same areas. And James has come back and like he's just shown how good of a player he is. And it's like do you know what it made me feel like? I felt like I was sitting at the Last Chance Saloon, right? And Reece James just walks in, comes up from downstairs, and buys everyone a drink. That's what it felt like, because it just to have him back and actually performing and actually being fit and actually just doing everything that we know he can do. It's got to be such a boost for the fan base and for the team as well.
Yeah.
To be fair though, as well, I actually think Maresca's got to get some credit because he's actually eased him in this time instead of just throwing him in. He played he's been playing 40 minutes, 50 minutes, 70 minutes last night. So he's just not throwing him in immediately. He's slowly easing back in, and so far, it's been okay.
Yeah.
I mean, when his hamstring snaps next week, we'll all be furious.
Yeah,
it's that thing. It's that thing with Reece James. Like I just struggle to get too excited because I'm just waiting for the next injury. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's just so annoying.
If he can string, say, 10 games together and not get injured, it's not that his injury chances are behind him, but surely you'd think they're pretty diminished at that stage.
You hope so.
Yeah.
Come on, you hope so.
I'll throw my final winner in because it's a small one. The opening 10 minutes of the second half. Because usually we get dominated in that opening 10. This time we dominated, and it's a refreshing change, a positive change. So I was very happy with that.
I have a quick question for you on that. Do you think if Wolves don't score late in the first half, do you think we come out that well in the second?
Absolutely not.
No, I don't think so either. I think that's the part of the issue, and it's a good thing. Don't get me wrong, but we're a very reactive team. We react a lot to what we see in front of us. I think if we put our chances away in the first half, like we probably should have done, and we go ahead and do even better. Oh, sorry, if we go in a half time, say 2-0 up, I think we take our foot off the gas coming the start of the second half, and that just can't happen.
But the thing is that comes with inexperience. That's all that is down to, and that's the glaring obvious thing is that these games are going by and going past us, and we're looking for Plan B. We haven't got one because we've got no experience.
Yeah,
because they've just got a bunch of kids essentially, and
Final winner for you, Chris.
Cucurella.
Oh, I didn't have him.
I didn't have him either.
I don't think he was outstanding in the game, but
big moment though.
Yeah, to make that run, it's almost like he took the game by the scruff of the neck. Like, if you lot aren't going to do it, I'll go and do it.
And we've been missing that. I was talking about that only last week. Like how we're missing that, and it's really nice to get him in those positions for that.
It's leadership again. I think a couple of weeks ago I said about him potentially becoming a captain, and I think he shows that in that game. He said, right, we need to win this game. So he made that run into the box. He had no right really to be in there. Like he was in there. He was in where the centre forward should be. And it was a really good finish as well, to control it and then keep his composure to put it away. I just, again, I love his energy every time he plays, to be fair.
Yeah, I fully agree. Berth, who's your final winner?
I've gone for Maresca, just because, not necessarily because it was a good team performance or anything like that. I think it was a much needed win for him, and it just builds a bit of confidence. I think he got most of the changes right, like I said about Reece James. He's using him quite well. So, I've got to give him his flowers. He's gone for a bit of a rough patch. He got a win last night, much needed win. So, yeah, I'll give it to him. I was really scratching around for a third win.
You've seen mine was really lame and pathetic. Ollie, yours isn't. Go on. What is it?
Tosin.
Nice pick.
Scored again.
I thought he had a good game.
Scored again. Provided some good leadership. I thought him and Chalobah looked really, really comfortable together at the back. I think Chalobah stole a lot of the limelight, and rightly so, because he was man of the match. But I thought actually Tosin was, helped us get in front with his goal as well. Like, it's quite a big moment in and of itself, a bit like Cucurella's. So yeah, like, not much more to say. Just a good performance from him, and I hope to see more of it, because I personally haven't seen enough from him this season. But we're starting to see him kick into gear now.
Here's a question though. I thought last night, aside from Robert Sanchez forgetting what goalkeeping is,
being himself,
I thought that was probably the most solid we've looked defensively, maybe all season.
Do you know what's weird? That centre back three cost nothing.
Yeah. So, but here's
nothing.
the thing. So, do you think that was down to the fact that is the most experienced back four we've put out?
Yes.
Reece James.
Yes.
Tosin.
Yes.
Chalobah.
Yes.
Cucurella. They've all got loads of games under their belt.
Yeah. I think that's got to be part of it, isn't it? I think we're really seeing this season how much we've been sort of what's the word? Like, sort of thrown off track by our inexperience a lot. And I think definitely having more experience at the back has certainly helped us.
Yeah, I fully agree. Well, that's winners done. So, losers time. I'm going to lead because we've all got him. Not for the first time, not for the last time. Robert Sanchez. Do we all have him, by the way?
Yeah. And you know why I have him?
Go on.
You know why I have him? Because
I can't imagine why.
He is fucking dreadful. He is the worst keeper in the league by an absolute country mile. And don't get me wrong, Robert Sanchez, if you are listening to this, I think you're probably a lovely bloke.
He's not. Don't worry, he's not listening to this.
But as far as goalkeeping goes, you're one of the worst I've ever seen.
Honestly, I want you to all think back to when people who said like we'd all wear Google glasses, we'd all be riding a Segway to work, and we all should believe in Robert Sanchez as the goalkeeper. Each of those things we were told were going to change the world. No, they ain't. They're not. Give it up. He makes some good saves, and he made some saves last night. So does every other goalkeeper in the world. And he does pull off a worldie of a save every now and then, but even a broken toaster still makes good crumbs. He's not going to get us a title. He's not going to get us a trophy. We have to accept it. And that game could have swung dramatically at 1-1. Swung, because we know what our mindset is when we go down 1-0, or we get there's an equaliser when we've dominated. We just shrivel and go, oh. And why didn't he punch it? Why didn't you punch it, Rob? Punch the ball.
You did want to punch him.
Or just catch it like a usual keeper would do instead of just dropping it.
It was. I mean,
it's not like anyone. Like, I know there's people around him, but it's not like anyone barged into him. He's about 6'6". He's got Inspector Gadget arms. He could have caused it quite easily.
I mean, Chris, what I haven't said. What do you want to add to that?
My problem with Sanchez, amongst all the other things, is the things he gets wrong are very basic, which I don't think you should be seeing for a goalkeeper playing at this level. So the goal yesterday, yes, the goal comes because he drops the ball, right? So that's a handling issue. That can happen to any keeper. Yeah, you see many Premier League goalkeepers try and catch someone and drop it. Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough. But actually, the mistake he makes is in his positioning in the first place.
Yeah.
Especially when you consider that Matthias Cunha has scored directly from a corner at Old Trafford not long ago.
Oh, yeah. Good point.
And has tried it at least 3 other times this season. So you knew for a fact there is a chance he is going to swing this right underneath my crossbar. And Robert Sanchez decided to start 4 yards off his line. Why?
Yeah.
So when
Makes
you
no
look
sense.
at it, he's having the little wrestle with the Wolves player, but he pushes him out the way before the corner's even delivered. So he's completely free, but he's 4 yards off his line. So when the ball's swinging in towards the goal, he's heading back towards his goal, which is why he drops the ball, because he tries to catch the ball, but he's travelling into the goal, remember? So he can't hold the ball anyway. Otherwise, he's going to walk over the line with it. Which is why I think he changes his mind last second to maybe try and punch it. Hasn't got time to adjust his hands, drops the ball, ends in a goal. Every single goalkeeper at this level should know that you start on your line because it's easier to travel forwards than it is backwards. Why he's starting there, I just don't understand what he's doing. It's an in-swinging corner. It's going to be heading towards the goal. You want to be coming and attacking the ball. You don't want to be following it into the goal. It's such a basic mistake that I just don't think a goalkeeper at this level should be making.
It's because shouldn't be at this level.
No, he shouldn't be anywhere near it. I don't think he's a championship keeper, to be honest.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree. I mean, other than you know what, I think we've probably said all we can say on Sanchez.
Well, not quite.
If you've got anything to add, Ollie, go ahead.
Oh my God, have I got something to add? So first of all, there was that picture of Robert Sanchez before the game reading. And I'd just like to just put forward a few.
Was there
goalkeeping for dummies?
A few examples of what he might have been reading. First one is called "Goalkeeping Basics" by Andy Elleray. How Not to Be an Idiot by Matthew Norm.
No.
And the Career Change Handbook. Jokes aside, my actual loser wasn't actually just Sanchez. My loser was Sanchez and Maresca together.
Oh,
yeah, good.
Because it is absolute. The things that Maresca said about Sanchez after the game are absolutely unforgivable. The fact that he said, "Oh yeah, well he's made some mistakes, but he saved us in other games," and I was thinking the only one I could really think of was Bournemouth earlier in the season, and he is the second worst keeper in the league when it comes to errors that have led to goals. But he's made 4 errors that have led to goals. Right, and the only one who's done more, I can't remember his name. But he's done
it's Muric. It's Muric at Ipswich.
Arthur Muric, the Ipswich keeper, exactly. Right, and so at this point, Maresca persisting with getting Sanchez every single week. And I know we don't have great keepers as alternatives, but him persisting with him every single week when it's like this is approaching a sackable offence for me. Because how on earth do you watch this guy make mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake? And it's not just in the ones that lead to goals either, because like earlier in the game and in the game before, he passes it directly to the opposition. He does it like once or twice a game. And how are you watching this and going, yes, that is what I want from my goalkeeper? It's your fault at the end of the day, Maresca, because you're the one who keeps picking him. Clearly he's low on confidence. Clearly he's struggling. Clearly he's not cut out for this. Fucking drop him. Drop him already. I don't care if you've got to play an academy player. I don't care if you've got to play Jorgensen. Until they make 5 errors leading to goals, they've not done a worse job.
I want to, do you know, I agree with everything you just said, but I want to cut Maresca a little bit of slack in the fact that I don't think Jorgensen's good enough. But I find really funny is we've brought Chalobah back from loan and he makes our team better. Our best goalkeeper is out on loan.
It's not
right in Petrovic at Strasbourg. So he's out on loan. So we could bring him back and he makes our team better. We've also got Andre Santos out on loan, who I think comes back and is better than Dewsbury Hall, so therefore makes our squad better. most of our players out on loan are better than the players we have in the actual squad. That's not on Maresca. That's on the people above him.
Correct.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
Correct.
I agree, but even
by the
still,
way, I weren't joking about Kepa. I
He's
think
been
Kepa
really
would
good
be-
for Bournemouth, hasn't he?
I think Kepa is a much better option than Jorgensen and Sanchez. And
Do you
I'm
know
not
what?
taking the piss
He
there.
is.
I've regaled against Kepa, and Sanchez makes me want to build a shrine to Kepa.
It's gone. It's time to move on, as everyone tells us on social.
Absolutely, I'm just absolutely sick of him. In any other profession, if you kept making the same mistake, eventually in any other profession, you would be reprimanded for it. And in any other profession, if you were the person who was picking the person who kept making the mistake every single week, they would get reprimanded as well. Fucking sort it out.
Right. Second loser from me. I wonder if we've all got a mate. Well, I wouldn't be shocked if Chris has this guy on my list. On the list, Pedro Neto.
Yep.
So, we're
100%.
on. I mean, it was just an incredibly poor performance. Perhaps
Struggled a lot, didn't he?
Look. I will give him some credit in his bank here. Maybe the pressure of facing your former club and you're just trying too hard to impress. But he came across to me as clumsy and wasteful. He was eventually replaced by Sancho, and that could have happened much earlier, if I'm honest. Because, look, one of Neto's standout qualities is his crossing. But with Jackson, who I'll go on to later, consistently ignoring the deliveries, why did you persist it? Why? You were just wasting opportunities. You were just wasted. And at this point in the season, we're deep enough into the campaign where I'm starting to assess performances collectively. And right now, Pedro Neto, not good enough. Because when we signed him, I spoke about this. I said, Maverick player. He's capable of delivering a top quality moment. Oh my word. Whoa, what's this? What's that? Right now, I'm seeing none of that. And his recent displays have been far from what was promised when we signed him from Wolves. Chris.
For a lot of money as well.
What I will say about Neto is, I mean, look, I'm not disagreeing with that by any means. I don't think it is his best game. I think because it was against Wolves, he was trying too hard yesterday.
Yeah, that's what I've got to say it. Yeah, I've got to add that in.
Don't get me wrong. I don't think he has been great. He's showing glimpses again, like most of our wingers. It's not been great, but I think last night, because it was against Wolves, he was trying too hard and trying to force it too much. Technically, he's a great player still, but it's one of them. Last night, he was just trying way too hard for me.
I mean, he made 6 crosses. One of them was accurate.
That's so poor from him.
Yeah.
So I brought up about Neto a while back, and me and Berth had a bit of a disagreement over it.
That's not like us too.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? He's not effective enough. I don't know what he does. I think Neto is a good player. I think technically he's very good. He's very quick, but his end product is almost zero.
He scored 1 goal this season.
Well, here's something, and I don't know what we're shocked about here. So if you look at Pedro Neto's stats from the 21-22 season to now, 21-22, 13 games in the Premier League, 1 goal, 1 assist, which is horrendous. 22-23, 18 Premier League appearances, no goals, 1 assist.
That's even worse.
23-24 was his best season in the Premier League. 20 games, 2 goals, 9 assists.
That's good.
9 assists isn't bad. However, I would like to see what those assists were. Because if it's rolling the ball 5 yards to someone who smashes it top corner, I don't think we see it as. I don't think that makes him productive.
I'm gonna look them up. I will look those up for you and let you know.
And then this season, 19 games in the Premier League, 1 goal, 2 assists, 3 goal involvements in 19 games in the Premier League. It's not good enough. And you can see
5
from
goals
that
in like 4 years
that whoever scouted him, I don't know what we was looking at, because you can be quick and you can have all the skill, but if you don't translate it into end product, what's the point of it? And it's, to be fair though, it's not just Neto. I have the same problem with almost all of our wingers. They are not productive enough in the area of the pitch where it matters the most.
I agree. Berth, who's your second loser?
This might sound really harsh here, but I don't care. Nani Madueke.
Yeah.
No, I think you're
I
right.
don't think that's. I mean, just for stealing Trev's goal alone.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't care that he got a goal. I thought he was really poor, really,
Yeah, he
really
was.
poor. I think
He
on the
was.
ball, I think you compare him to Neto, and look, Neto hasn't got anywhere near the numbers that Madueke has this season. Neto is much better on the ball than Madueke, and it's not close for me. I think Madueke is so clumsy on the ball, really wasteful at times. Don't get me wrong, as his moments, like all of our wingers do, but I just think for me, way too many times last night where he'd sort of passing the ball and the ball would go over his foot, or he'd run into a load of traffic, or, you know, he'd just put in a ball and it'd be overhit, or he'd try a shot and it'd get blocked. For me, just at the minute, he's one of our most frustrating players to watch, because I know there's a real talent in there, but it's so frustrating with him.
I've got an interesting story about Madueke if you want it.
Oh,
Yeah,
go on.
Why not? Treat us.
Sort of an inside scoop, this is,
Oh.
if you like.
From what source?
So Madueke does extra one-to-one training outside
we
of
see
the
the
club.
see the videos sometimes, don't we?
Yeah. So he's called up the coach who does the one-to-ones with him and said, I want to do a session. And he's asked for 2 goalkeepers and 7 other players, because he just wants to play a 5v5. Because in his words, all we do at training is positional play, and I just want to play some football. He's bored. I don't think he doesn't like Maresca's training, obviously, and I think it's showing, and I think that's why he's been dropped a few times for poor attitude in training, because he's finding it boring. He doesn't want to do that stuff. So, with that, I think you're seeing it translate onto the pitch now. I don't think Madueke likes Maresca, and I don't think he's willing to give his all for him. Now that's wrong, because you know, when you go on the pitch, you should be doing it for more than just the manager anyway. But apparently Madueke has a really good attitude. He wants to learn. He wants to get better. But I don't know. Maresca's obviously clearly not giving him that, and he's not getting the best out of him. But he was poor last night. I agree with you, but
Ollie, second loser.
It dives in really well with this discussion. Chris, you said Neto. Berth, you said Madueke. I'm saying wingers generally. Because the wings.
Not Sancho though, because he's world class, mate.
To be fair, I actually think Sancho is our best winger at the moment.
Yeah, that sums it up.
I was going to say that I think that says it all, Berth, to be honest with you, because you've got Madueke, who you know blows more hot and cold more often than than an air conditioning unit. You know, you've got Neto, who's scored about 3 goals in his entire career. You know, and as well, we signed him for 60 million, right? And his best thing is crossing and getting it on the head of a big centre forward, and we don't have one of those.
That's it.
So you've signed a player for 60 million where you can't utilize his greatest strength. Obscene. You've got, and then on the other side, you know, you've got Sancho, who specifically in the game against Wolves did absolutely nothing when he came on. You know, like I know people were calling for Neto to go off, and he was really poor. But when Sancho came on, I didn't see him do anything more than Neto did, other than make fewer mistakes. You know, so. And then, of course, you've got Ukraine Bolt, who's out at the moment for being for doping. So
allegedly,
he's done it. We all know he's done
allegedly.
It. We wouldn't be looking at Alejandro Garnacho, who would be exactly the same in terms of output of all of our other wingers at the moment if he wasn't absolutely done out here. So
allegedly,
yeah, definitely confirmed allegedly. So I'm just looking at the situation with the wingers and stuff, and you're just like, well, like, who have we even got then, like, who can really make something happen and make a change? Because at the moment, Jackson gets a lot of stick, and rightfully so. And I don't know if anyone has him as a loser, but he did absolutely nothing against Wolves. He's just escaped being a loser for me.
Right.
And,
go on.
But he's getting absolutely no help in terms of goal scoring. Him and Palmer are basically having to do it all. in terms of the goal scoring and in terms of the contributions and stuff. And it's just not enough. Like, we just need more from the wide players in every single aspect of their game at the moment.
Okay. But my final loser is Nicholas Jackson, because for me, he is the Dalton line of strikers. He's right on the edge of good enough, but never exactly wow. We have the one of the best here. That's the, and it's a shame because, like, for me, one of his best traits is pure unfiltered effort. I mean, even on his worst days, he, you know, when he's serving up a buffet of missed chances and missed controls, you can't fault that guy for trying, because he always tries. And yet against Wolves, I kind of felt that wasn't on display. And he's a striker. You'd say, well, we have to say 6 games in a row without a goal. And his confidence looks every bit of 6 games without a goal.
You know,
he scored an offside goal.
You are right, though. What I would say about Jackson last night, though, is people have got to stop this stupid, lazy narrative now that he misses loads of chances every game. I don't mind if it's a game where he actually does, but last night he had no chances. And people online were still going. And then, of course, Jackson missed loads of chances. And I thought, no, he didn't. Name them.
Yeah, I mean, what didn't help last night? What I totally agree with Chris, by the way.
He was offside a lot.
I'm not saying he played amazing last night, but I think what didn't help is that he was playing against the back 3. And let's face it, Wolves, for the most part, sat very deep. Nicholas Jackson is at his best when a team comes onto you, when they step up high. Look at the goal that he set up for Palmer against Bournemouth. Bournemouth pressed high. He spanned the defender. He played Palmer in. That's perfect Nicholas Jackson play. That's what he thrives on. Yes, he does miss chances. Wolves, to their credit, didn't allow that yesterday because they sat back 3 big guys at the back. He had nothing to work with. Took his offside goal really well, by the way. That won't get talked
it was
about.
A really nice
that
finish.
Won't get talked about. But
yeah,
you know what?
He was offside a lot though in the game, and that was really annoying me as well. It's like, you are, at the end of the day, you are a striker. Stay onside. It's more important than any other player in the entire team than it is for you to stay onside.
I don't mind a striker being offside because it shows they're willing to running behind. What I cannot, and it pissed me off so much last night, there's 2 or 3 times where I think Torrey George did it at one point, Madueke did it a couple of times, Neto may have as well. And so did Sancho. A winger should never, ever be offside.
Yeah,
and
when they're looking straight across the line.
When they're looking straight across the line, I'm sorry, you're a professional player being paid $100,000 a week, or if not more. You have to be able to stay onside if you're on the wing.
With Jackson, I think you have to look at Ollie Watkins at Villa. Now, for me, Jackson is like the polar opposite of Ollie Watkins. Ollie Watkins at Brentford was a winger. He played as a winger, and then he got converted into a striker.
Yeah.
And then he's gone to Villa and he's took it on and he's done really well, to be fair. Nicholas Jackson's a winger. He's not a striker. His best work yesterday was on the left wing when he had the ball in the corner and he did that little spin move to get past the defender, and then he got fouled. Everything, even the what he set up Palmer's goal against Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Winger. Everything he does that's good is a winger. He's a wide player. And someone needs to just convert him to a winger. Just because he doesn't look like a traditional winger doesn't mean he isn't one. All his best work is done outside the penalty area. So I think we just sign a striker and just put him on the wing. And I'm telling you now, you would get more output from Jackson on the wing than you will do from anyone else we could play there. So it's win-win, really. We get the finisher in the box, and you still get Jackson playing and doing all of the good stuff you get from Jackson, but in a position where he should actually be doing it.
Or, do you know, the other option is get a player who he can at least interchange with on the wing, right? You got Nottingham Forest have gone out. You know, they've got Chris Wood as the striker. Do you know who they're trying to get? Wisser from Brentford. I thought, you know, who would be better to interchange with Jackson, who scores goals regularly, who could play out on the wide as well. Jackson could interchange with him. He could go out wide too. And I just think, and instead we're going for Garnacho. So
that's why I said Bruno. 2 weeks ago. Perfect hybrid striker winger.
Right. Let's mop up our losers. Who go with your thirds, everybody?
I've got quite a quick one, to be fair. And it's just the atmosphere at Stamford Bridge.
Same as mine, Berth.
Yeah, it was quiet, it was nervy, it was tense, especially when that first goal for Wolves went in. It was just, you could tell we hadn't won in a few games because Stamford Bridge was very, very quiet, and that needs to change. If you want to finish top 4 this season, if you want to win some this season, that has to change. And look, the players, they need to step up, but the fans do as well. And it's just, there needs to be a lot more positive energy around the club and online and at the club, at the Bridge.
So last night, right, we was 3-1 up. I'm looking at my phone. I think I was texting in the group chat. The commentators stopped talking. You know, they have that little lull sometimes when none of them say anything. And I looked up and I turned to my wife and I said, "Have you put mute on?" And she said, "No." You couldn't hear anything.
Yeah.
It was absolutely dead. So, and I thought, we're winning 3-1. First time we're going to win in 6 games.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely
radio silence.
Dead. It was like they'd all left. They'd all gone, "Oh, well, that's game over. Come on, let's get that tube."
If you listen carefully, you could hear one of the fans discussing his day. Like, nice, laying to work again. Oh, Steve.
I don't know. I don't know what's happened, but it seems like every week the atmosphere at Stamford Bridge gets worse.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
We've been saying that for years,
result.
though. It's not going to change, like, you know, and until the club works with the fans, works with everything else to actually, you know, you need a dedicated singing section. I know it sounds stupid, but Arsenal have that stupid North London Forever thing. They have a drum as well.
Are you suggesting we pump audio crowd noise into Stamford Bridge?
No, what I'm suggesting is we get a fucking drum. Just do something different.
But what happened? Like, because Arsenal's problem was they moved stadium, didn't they? And then they never really got the atmosphere back. Like, what's our excuse? It's the same place, but the crowd never used to be this bad. So what happened?
I don't know. I'm well, probably back-to-back seasons of poor football and disappointment, I suppose.
Well,
Graham Potter,
Ollie, Graham Potter happened. Yeah.
Who's your final?
Yeah,
you're not going to like this. Well, you might like it. It might be a bit controversial. I've gone with Keane and Dewsbury Hall.
I mean, he was okay.
Oh, I didn't think he was that bad, to be honest with you.
No,
do you know what I think he was? Invisible.
Oh.
Which you could argue is worse.
What he was is the exact player he is, which is bang average. And the thing is with Dewsbury Hall, there was a few things the game yesterday really sort of like shined out for me. Is one of them is that how much worse he actually looks in a group of like actual footballers. Like he looks
talented players.
Yeah, like he looks every bit 2-3 levels below everyone else in the squad, in my opinion, when he plays. Like it just really, really sloppy stuff you could get away with in the Championship and do all right. Just doesn't fly in the Premier League, and he can't get it out of his game. And I was thinking about this with Dewsbury Hall. I was thinking, so the fact is, he doesn't really work harder than anyone else, right? He doesn't score goals. Unless it goes off the back of his head, he doesn't get assists, right? He doesn't offer leadership. Yeah, he doesn't offer leadership. He doesn't offer wisdom. He doesn't have the manager's backing. He can't head the ball, right? He doesn't take set pieces. His passing is mediocre, and his first touch is god-awful. So he doesn't offer anything. What has he got? And the one thing people have been saying about him is he knows the manager's system. Trevoh Chalobah has just come back, right, with absolutely no knowledge of the system whatsoever, because he didn't even train with the first team squad in the summer before he went to Palace. He's come back and he's instantly made an impact and had a man of the match performance. It proves more than anything, good players are good players. You don't have to know the system. So it takes away the very last thing that anyone can really have as a positive with Dewsbury Hall. He offers absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Maybe less.
You don't rate him as a player.
Yeah, to say Ollie, what do you really think of him, mate?
Could you be a bit clearer, Ollie? Do you rate him?
The thing
sounds like you're sitting on the fence.
Yeah,
right
it does.
The thing that's really annoyed me about it is then again, after the game, Maresca's come out and said we're not looking to bring back Ugachukwu or Santos. And I'm thinking,
Maresca doesn't know what we're trying to do.
I know, but when when you have Kiernan Dewsbury Hall as your only backup midfielder because Lavia is in the treatment room constantly, that's the only thing I'll give him. He's never injured, right?
But he don't
and
play.
that is exactly. Neither does Lavia.
No.
Fair point.
But so when you're looking at the drop off in quality from someone like Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez, Romeo Lavia to Kiernan Dewsbury Hall in midfield, even when Dewsbury Hall plays further forward, you've got Nkunku, Palmer, Felix, Dewsbury Hall. The drop off is immeasurable. And how are you not looking to bolster the places that the areas that he is playing in as a result? Because he's just not good enough. I'm sure he's a lovely bloke, but he's just not good enough for Chelsea.
Emoji game review. I was going to go with a smile, and then I remembered that Trevoh Chalobah did the sideways look to Robert Sanchez, so I'm going to do the sideways look emoji. You know the one, the two eyes, like
Nice.
What about you lot?
I've just got a thumbs up because it was that was all right. A win's a win. Thumbs up.
I've got the praying emoji because Trevoh Chalobah's performance was very good, and we know we'll be seeing those Bible verses on his Instagram later.
Already seen them? You put them
exactly.
last night, I think.
Already seen them. So there you go. Like, let's hope he continues because he is a blessed individual at the moment.
Chris,
I'm gonna go with the stop. Emoji
right now.
because we stopped the rot, but not a lot else has changed for me.
I was going to say, don't talk too soon. Man City just won 6-0 and we play them next week.
We do.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's why I'm not getting carried away with beating her. I mean, can we just talk about as well, really quickly? Fucking Wolves are shit, aren't they?
Strand Larsen might be one of the worst strikers, maybe in the world.
No, I don't think he's that bad, but Wolves are shit.
He is bad, though. Like, he showed absolutely nothing. If Jackson showed nothing, at least he scored an offside goal. Strand Larsen, I didn't even realise he was playing.
The worst thing about Wolves last night for me was they went 3-1 down and just gave up.
Yeah.
That's kind of true, actually.
Yeah, they were really poor. They definitely deserve to be where they are.
Right. Yeah. Lion of the week. Let's have a look. What did we do? I went with Caicedo. The wheel went with Caicedo. Ollie, you went with Sancho, and Chris went with Jackson. Well, we know Trevoh Chalobah is the real.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I think that might be no winners on our end.
I
Caicedo, maybe.
Caicedo was the best of the three. Yeah,
of those ones we picked.
Of those ones, yeah.
Yeah. All right then. Mike and the wheel win.
Jesus.
We'll quickly go to Christmas questions. Let's have a peek. So, JRMT1, what's your opinion on bring Trev back from his loan? Well, obviously we're bloody happy about that. I mean,
we've talked about that. It's a good thing in general. Good for the squad. Hardworking player, good leadership. I hope to see more of him.
Alexander probably goes without saying, but Trev and Levi for the rest of the season. I think we play a back three, not a back two.
I think our best
back three.
At the moment, I think Tosin and Chalobah. After last night, I don't think Colwell should walk straight back in.
No, I agree.
Earn your place back.
I disagree with that. I think our best back line has Colwell in it. I think it probably has Colwell and Chalobah in it. So
I think I think you're right, Ollie, but I don't think he walks back.
You hate Colwell anyway. You got an agenda.
I've just said our best back four is Colwell in it, but I don't think he just immediately walks. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, of course I hate. Yeah, it's bullshit.
I've got a good question here from Vic. Actually, do you think Maresca is overplaying Palmer and Caicedo? I would say to a point, yes, because last night Caicedo went down with his knee, and you just thought our season's over. We've running him.
The thing is, Palmer looked shattered yesterday.
We are running them into the ground.
Palmer looked overplayed about 10 games ago.
I don't know why Palmer didn't come off after the third goal.
Because we were scared. Maresca was probably scared.
But I'm sorry, if you can't be comfortable beating Wolves, who are 17th, when you're already winning 3-1 without Cole Palmer, then
with about 25 minutes in the game left as well. It wasn't like
fucking hell.
Yeah, he's got to learn to manage Palmer better. Because he's being kicked to shit as well. Like every single week, he gets like another one that's like you're like, oh, and it's eventually he's going to go down. And he's not going to get up. You know,
worrying.
we've got to manage him.
Right, we'll do a very quick end of show game. Guess the player by the career path. Today's theme is Jose Mourinho. So every player today has been given their debut in the Champions League by Jose Mourinho. The first one started his career at Lille.
And what did she say about him?
Before moving to Chelsea. Before moving to Tianjin TDA. Wow, how have you not got this? Come on. He then moves to Middlesbrough before heading to Turkey to play for Trabzonspor.
Is it?
No,
Wait,
I might have it now, but I don't think it's right.
I think I'm going to guess one. I'm going to go.
Go on.
Is it Tor Andre Flo?
No.
I'll go. I don't think I'm right, but I'll go. Is it Gal Kakuta?
No. Wow, Chris, you get to finish it out. He goes from Trabzonspor to Stoke City and finishes at Kuwait SC. Doesn't play a game for Kuwait SC, though. So that's Lyn Oslo, Chelsea, Tianjin, Middlesbrough, Trabzonspor, Stoke, Kuwait.
Come on, Chris, it's obvious now.
Is it?
No, I have no idea.
No, I honestly don't know. I couldn't even throw a name at
There's
you.
a court case in between Lyn and Chelsea, if that helps. Wow.
No, it doesn't.
No,
right,
it
okay,
doesn't.
I'll give it away by no one's getting this one then. I give it away by going, he didn't actually join us originally. He joined Man United.
I know it is.
Exactly.
Oh.
I know it is.
Maybe.
He has a podcast.
Come on,
he has a
Chris.
podcast,
Come on,
Chris.
Come on.
Mikel.
Yeah. John Obi Mikel.
Well done, Chris. Got there in the end.
Right. This next player started at Borussia Dortmund 2 before moving to Borussia Dortmund. He then went on loan to Feyenoord before moving from Dortmund to Real Madrid.
Crikey.
He then moves from Real Madrid to Liverpool on loan.
Got it.
Go on.
Is it Nuri Sahin?
It's Nuri Sahin, who then went to Dortmund on loan. Dortmund, Werder Bremen, and Antalyaspor. So
well done, Beth.
How can I get that, but not John Obi Mikel?
This next player, final player, started at, I think it's pronounced Rouen, before moving to Mouscron.
Are these real places?
They're real places.
No.
He then moves to Hoffenheim before taking a trip to the Premier League to play for West Ham.
Nah, that's not a real team.
Well, West Ham, he stays in the Premier League. He loves it. He goes to Newcastle.
I think I might have it. Oh, no, do I? Yeah, go on, I'll go for it.
Go on.
Oh, it's not Loic Remy, is it?
It's not. He loved Newcastle. He loved the Premier League, that much. He moves to Chelsea.
Oh, no,
I've got it. I think I've got it.
Go on, Ollie.
Is it Demba Ba?
Yeah, it's Demba Ba, who then plays for... But he played for one season with us. I swear it was
syrup.
more. Went to Besiktas, went to Shanghai, Besiktas again, Göztepe, Shanghai, Istanbul.
Do you know what?
Gone.
And to be fair, he could go wherever he wanted after he scored that goal against Liverpool.
True.
He was at the bridge last night, wasn't he?
He had hair. I didn't recognise him. I was like,
well, he did go to Turkey, didn't he? Maybe he had some work done.
Oh no. Oh dear. Right, listeners, we are at the end of another episode. Thank you as always for listening. Of course, proud to remind you about our partnership with Head in the Game, the mental health charity using football to support wellbeing and community. Check them out at headinthegame.co.uk. Treat yourself well. We'll be back on Friday with something that I have no part in because the team did it and I'll give them credit. It's bloody good. So look forward to that, listener. There's a tease. So till then, that'll be us signing off.
You've been listening to At The Bridge Pod, a Chelsea FC podcast. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram by searching for At The Bridge Pod. And if you're listening on Apple or Spotify, leaving us a review is always appreciated.